What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday. This will be the last time we cover a deck that's not involving Breakpoint. Next week we will do Expanded Thursday with Breakpoint. But this is the second weekend of regionals coming up, and Breakpoint is still not legal. We have the weekend number 3. And the Breakpoint will be legal. And the deck we're going to be looking at is a deck that actually won week 1 of Virginia Regionals. Now it's piloted by Daniel Altavala, playing the Yveltal, Archeops, Gallade, Yveltal, Archeops, Gallade, Drachi, Hoopa, Keldeo, Sizetoad, Shaman. So many different combinations in this deck, and it's a very unique deck. And Brandon Smiley actually said that it was a brainchild of himself, Jim McClure, and Daniel Altavala. And it seems like Daniel did agree. So just shout out to those 3 people. I know McClure did make cut. I'm not sure if he played these same exact lists, but if he did, he also made top 32. I think he almost made it. I'm not 100% sure. But still, this is the week 1 winner, the Yveltal Gallade Zorak deck. It beat Kevin Baxter's the Vest Queen deck. But let's go over the deck and let's go everything about this deck. If you've never seen Yveltal, today's the day you're going to learn about it. Now, it's weird to say who your real main attacker is, like your main attacker. There's so many different attackers in this deck. But if you had to pick your main one, it's going to be Yveltal EX. And it's 170 HP, and it has the attack Evolve. It's probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest attack in the game currently. Evolve does 20, and this attack does 20 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. So, you know, if you have a bunch of energies on your active, your opponent has a bunch of energies on their active, you can see how Evolve can start doing a ton of damage. And it also has Y-Cyclone, which is good for the mirror match. Y-Cyclone does 90, and you move energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Usually you move the DC off the Yveltal to a bench Yveltal EX, and that way you can cycle between Yveltal EXs, not leaving too many energies on the active. You have Baby Yveltal as well for Blizzwing 30, attach a Dark Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon, and Darkness Blade, 100 damage, flip a coin if tells this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. We have Darkrai EX, which ruled the format all of 2012, if I remember correctly. But Dark Cloak, each of your Pokemon that has any Dark Energy attached to it has no retreat cost, and it has the attack of Night Spirit. It does 90 and 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Now, the cool thing about this deck is, you know, Darkrai has Fighting weakness, and Yveltal has Lightning weakness. So it depends on the situation. You could be attacked with Yveltal, you could be attacked with Darkrai. Just depends on what deck you are playing against. The deck plays 2 Shaman to help set up to draw cards. You have 6 cards in your hand. And you can use Sky Return for 30, return it into your hand. And that makes it where you don't have a Shaman EX on the bench for your opponent to Lysander to take those easy 2 prize cards. We'll go over these cards in a second. 1 Drachi for Stellar Guidance for any supporter card out of your deck. 1 Hoopa for Scoundering. You want to search your deck for 3 EX Pokemon. Usually turn 1, you want to grab Hoopa. And with the Hoopa, you want to grab a Keldeo, an Yveltal, and either like a Sizetoad or a Shaman, depending what's in your hand. Of course, I think the optimal situation is Shaman, and then maybe have a Gallade or Archeops in the 5th spot for sure. Keldeo does have the Russian effect. If it's on your bench, you can switch it with the active. We've seen this in Standard with Zorak with the stand-in ability, but now, I mean, Russian is older, so Zorak copied the Russian effect. But this is really good. You can attach a Dark Energy, you can touch a Flowstone, give it free retreat with Keldeo EX. 1 Sizetoad, because Quaking Punch is still really, really broke. Now, Quaking Punch does 30 damage. Your opponent can play an item card from his or her hand during his or her turn. And we'll go over in a second why this is such a good attack. I mean, shutting down items is great, but we'll show in a second why it's even greater in this deck. Now, you do play the 1 Archeops, which single-handedly shuts down evolution decks. Each player can't play any Pokemon from his or her hand to evolve his or her Pokemon. That means that Pokemon, as soon as you get done Archeops, your opponent cannot evolve their Pokemon unless they Evosoda, unless they Wally, they put down a Wobbuffet, they Hex Maniac. Any of those combinations can get around Archeops. But those cards do cut consistency stuff into your opponent's deck, and if they do play that, they are missing stuff out of their deck. Maybe not so much on the Hex Maniac, but definitely playing the Evosoda, the Wally, and a Wobbuffet are consistency cutting cards. And if you don't need the Archeops, like you're like, oh, they're not playing an evolution deck, then you're gonna get out Gallade. We've seen this in Standard. We saw it dominate the format with Yveltal. It has the ability Premonition, you rearrange the top 5 cards of your deck, and it has Sensitive Blade, 60 if you play the supporter card from your hand. This deck does 70 more damage, which is very, very good of a card. I do like this a lot. The attack is great. It can knock out some EX Pokemon with the Muscle Band and Verbic Laser. You can take knockouts. So like I said, it depends on the situation. You might get either one. Now, back to the Size Toad EX, Quake Punch makes it where they can't play item cards, and Archeops makes it, like I said, the only way they can get around it is if they Wally, they Evo Soda, Hex Maniac, all that stuff. Well, if you Quake Punch and have an Archeops out, that's such a good combination. You make it where your opponent can use their Evo Sodas to it gets evolution decks, of course. They can't use their Evo Sodas now. They can't be a secret for Hex Maniac to get the Wally and or their the Wally and or Hex Maniac. There we go. So those two cards, they can't give a VS Secret to get around the Archeops. They can't put Floatstones and Wobbuffet to give it for your retreat. There's just so many things that ruin it when you Quake Punch with an Archeops. It's such a cool combo. And that's all the Pokemon in the deck. It's weird because you're playing like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, but you just gotta make sure you don't discard the wrong cards. Alright, so on to the trainer supporters of stadiums. You play 4 Battle Compressor, discard 3 cards from your deck, and this is going to discard your, your Glade, your Archeops, maybe some Dark Energy, supporter cards, and they played 4 just to help get that turn 1 maxis with the Archeops and or Glade, 1 Computer Search just for consistency, get that turn 1 Archeops out, 4 Dark Patch, which is why the deck is such... Dark was already dominating in Standard, but with Dark Patch, it makes it, it puts it on a whole different level. Now you can attach a basic Dark Energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. It's basically like Yveltal's attack, but it's, it can only be attached to Dark Pokemon, but it's a trainer card instead of an attack, which is great. 3 Hypnotoxic Laser, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, so they're poisoned automatically, but you flip a coin. If heads, they're also asleep, and that can be devastating if you flip heads and then they flip tails and they're asleep during the turn. 3 Trainer's Maul to help consistency, to help get that turn 1 Archeops, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and put a trainer card in your hand. 4 Ultra Ball to search out your Pokemon. 4 VS Secret to reuse supporter cards. 1 Hex Maniac until the end of your opponent's next turn. Each Pokemon to play in each player's hand and each player's discard pile has no abilities. Now, some people might be saying, why is that such a good card? You play, you play the Archeops. You don't want to shut that ability down. You play all these different abilities that you don't want to shut down. But if you are playing a deck that does rely on abilities and not on evolution, then this will be perfect. Let's look at Archie's Toys. Archie's Toys, they can Archie out Blastoise to get around the Archeops, but if you Hex Maniac, it makes it where their Blastoise cannot use Deluge, and if you knock out a Pokemon, if you knock out a Keldeo with an Yveltal, and then you Hex Maniac to shut off Blastoise, it's destroys your opponent, and that's one of the combos you can do with Hex Maniac in this deck. 1 Lysander, bring a Pokemon off the bench. 2 Maxis. Now Maxis is how you get out your Archeops and Glade. If you've never seen this before, the way it works is you can only use it when it's the only card in your hand, and you put a fighting Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, then draw 5 cards. So with this, you can get out the Archeops and the Glade, but the Maxis has to be the last card in your hand. 1 in, each player shuffles their hand into the deck, and they draw a card for each prize card remaining. 3 Juniper, discard your hand, draw 7 new cards. 2 Burbank City Gem, and this makes it where your poison do 2 more damage counters. So basically it's 3 damage counters in between turns, which makes it great. 2 Floatstone to give your Keldeo free retreat or whoever, depending on the situation. 2 Muscle Band, so you do 20 more damage to the active. 4 DC and 6 Dark Energies. And like I said, this is the deck that Daniel Altavala used to win Virginia Regionals. There was 299 people. They played 9 rounds day 1. I think he went 801 maybe. I think he went 801 day 1, and then I think he basically won everything and then tied the rest of the day, and then he went on, won the whole tournament, top 8, top 4 in the finals. So he had an amazing record with this deck, and it shows how strong of a deck how strong of a deck it is. I guess that's the right thing to say. But, shout out to Daniel Altavala for winning Virginia Regionals. Like I said, Brandon Smiley said it was him, Jimmy McClure, and Danny who made it. Like I said before, Jimmy McClure did make top 32. I'm not 100% sure if he used the same deck list, but if he did, that even proves how great this deck is. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let's see the deck in action. Alright, you're putting against Ray Run, playing a Psychic, Water, and Colors deck, and let's see what are we playing against. What kind of coin is that, first of all? That's a Mewtwo and That's a monster. That's not a Pokemon. I'm not sure. What is that? A Noibat? Is that a Noivern? Maybe that's what it is. But our opponent is going first. I'm wondering what are they playing. Wow. Okay. So they have no base Pokemon, and we start with Hoopa. Man. All right. Well, let's see what is our opponent playing. Okay, some kind of Crobat deck. Now this is good. I think we have the turn one Archeops. Depends on what we top deck. We'll see what happens. They're choosing their active Pokemon. I can't remember. I think it's Toadbats. I think it's Toadbats. Maybe I'm wrong. But if it is Toadbats, I think we have an okay matchup. Yeah, we'll draw one for the mulligan. Okay, we get an Yveltal. We'll keep that in our hand as of right now. And there is a Toad. So yeah, it is going to be a Toadbats deck. And let's see how this matchup goes. There's a Verbeck Seated Gem coming down. There's a Love Ball. This will probably grab a Zubat, most likely. Yep. Okay, they don't have the Free Flight Zubat. It has, well, I guess the difference between Free Flight and this one has 50 and the other one has 40. We see a Trainer's Mail. Gonna look at the top 4 cards of their deck, and they're gonna grab a Sycamore. Alrighty. And we just gotta hope our Archeops is not prized. They receive Sycamore, discarding Lysander, double Golbat. Now, those Golbats are probably not going to be that useful. We see a Hypnotoxic Laser trying to put our Hoopa to sleep, and it tells it does not work. We see another Zubat coming down. And what else will happen this turn? Big question is, can we get a Verse Seeker off this top deck or not? If we get a Verse Seeker off this top deck and off the Trainer's Mail, we'll pretty much be okay. We can get the turn 1 Archeops if the Archeops and both the Maxis are not prized. But we see getting an AZ. Alright. And also, if we get a Maxis Hidden Ball Trick, that can work as well. I think we'll have the turn 1. But things are looking good for us. We're going to see probably just a pass for our opponent. There's a VS Seeker. Maybe they're scared of our own Toad grabbing a Sycamore for the next turn. And, okay, so Poison Pass. Okay, so on our turn, let's see what happens. We get a Floatstone. Okay. We'll Battle Compressor, and like I said, with the Compressor, we will discard a Maxis Hidden Ball Trick. We will discard a Glade, and come on down! Archeops, there it is. Alright, I was scared that it was prized. But we do get those 3 in the discard pile, and we're looking for a Trainer's Mail. Come on, VS Seeker with the Trainer's Mail, and now, oh my goodness, we whiffed it. Okay, so press done. We'll put down the Yveltal. We will Ultra Ball, discard a Juniper and a Dark Energy, and with this, we'll grab a Shaman. Alright, no, not Keldeo. Oh no, we can grab a Jirachi. Ooh, okay, I have a plan. Is Maxis, is there another Maxis in the deck, right? Yes, there is. Alright, so we're going to grab a Jirachi. Okay, so grab the Jirachi, put a Floatstone on the active, put a Muscle Band on this guy. We will Jirachi, and with the Jirachi, we'll search for the Maxis. Turn 1, there we go. Alright, so I kind of forgot that we had Jirachi just for a second, but we can Maxis for the Archeops, not the Glade. Archeops coming on down. Alright, can we draw a Dark Energy? I want height. Okay, sure. Well, Trainer's Mail, let's see what can we get. Okay, so press done. We get a Keldeo, and we get an Yveltal, but we don't really have anything else. We will VS Seeker for a Juniper. Okay. We'll put down the Keldeo, put down the Yveltal, and just pass. Okay. And we whiffed an energy. Oh, we whiffed a Dark Patch. Oh man, we should probably have kept this in an active spot. I don't think he can knock us out. The most he can do next turn is 80. So we're good on that part. But we did get the turn with Archeops. There's a DC going out to the Toad. Okay. And we'll probably see Quake Punch doing 50. There we see Sacred Ash getting back double Golbats. The Golbats don't really matter since we had the Archeops shutting down his evolution with Ancient Power, which is fantastic. He will have to Light Center up this guy to get it out of the active spot, or knock out the Archeops. So we see an Ultra Ball discarding a VS Seeker and an AZ. Might get a Shaman. Not 100% sure what he'll grab. We'll see in a second though. Let's see, a Zubat. Okay, so he's grabbing another Zubat, which is definitely questionable. Like, he can't really knock out the Archeops. Like I said, he does have to Life Center it up, so he'll have to watch out for that. We see Sycamore discarding his hand, drawing 7 new cards. And we'll see a Quake Punch. It'll do a maximum of 60 damage, which we won't be knocked out. Another Toad coming down. And let's see, what else does our opponent have? Do they have anything else? Now, next turn, we need to hit a Dark Energy to start using Baby Yveltal to power up this Yveltal EX. We see a Quake Punch doing 30, and then with the Poison up to 120. Alright, on to our turn. Let's see what happens. We get a... Oh, the next card would have been a Dark Patch. Oh, man. Boas, Juniper, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. We're looking for a Dark Energy, and we do get one. That's nice. So we'll put a Dark Energy this guy. We will retreat into the Yveltal. And we will just Oblivion for 50, putting a Dark Energy onto this Yveltal EX. Now, sadly, we did not get a Floatstone on this Keldeo. I probably should have grabbed a Darkrai instead of the Keldeo, realizing he had a Toad. That probably would have been the smarter play, but that was just me, just for, I don't know, just, first time experience, not, still learning the deck. We see an end, both of us going to shuffle our hands into deck and draw 6 cards. But if we would have grabbed the Darkrai instead of the Keldeo, we could retreat the Yveltal into the Yveltal EX, okay? And let's see, what will our opponent do this turn? We see a Muscle Band going down to the active Toad. And we might see another Quake Punch doing 50 or doing 30 damage. Now the question is, oh, there's a Shaman coming down as well, drawing 2 cards. The question is, who do I go after? Do I knock out this Zubat or do I do 50 damage to the Toad? I think just doing damage to the Toad is the best situation for us right now. Yeah, I think that's the best thing we want to do. So put a Dark Energy on the Yveltal. We'll just Oblivion for 50, bring the Toad up to 100. Now, if we do top deck a Dark Energy, we could retreat and knock out the Size Toad with this Yveltal, and we might be okay. On to our opponent's turn. Let's see what happens. Quake Punch could knock us out if he gets a Hypnotoxic Laser, and we do see a Hypnotoxic Laser coming down. 20, 46, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. But next turn, we can knock out this Toad. He will need to Super Scoop it up or retreat it. So let's see, what does he get off these 6 cards? What do we get off these 6 cards? Let's see. Okay, a DCE, which is great. We can DC onto his Yveltal and then do a big Yveltal, Ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we see a Quake Punch. It will knock us out. Alrighty, so 50 damage for the Poison. And we stay asleep. Oh no, we woke up. Okay, so our opponent goes down to 5. We will set up the Yveltal. Okay. And we're looking for another Yveltal EX, and that's not it. Okay. So we're going to Hex Maniac just... Oh, no, we don't want to Hex Maniac. Whoa, that would have been a misplay, because then my opponent can use Golbats. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't knock out the Size Toad next turn. But we will just Evolve, knock it out now, do it 100 damage. We'll go down to 4 prize cards. And like I said, we're looking for another Yveltal... A Darkrai as well. Okay, so we get those cards. Let's see, what will our opponent do? He's going to set up the Toad, and he might... Okay, he's going to set up a Zubat. He might have a Golbat in his hand already, and that's why he's sending up the Zubat. He might have a Dedenne as well. Dedenne will do 20, 40, 60. Okay, so we're not asleep. Okay, so 20, 40, 60, 80... Yeah, so that's not a knockout, so we poison, but we still live. We'll get a Size Toad as well. So what I'm going to do is put a Size Toad down. We will... Let's see. I think the best plan of action is to DC this Toad, retreat into the Toad, and just Quake Punch. And this makes it where he can't use trainer cards next turn, and maybe he can't retreat the Zubat. He needs to go back to retreat it. So we'll see what happens on to our opponent's turn. But now he can't play trainer cards. And then next turn we can play our trainer cards, which is definitely kind of a weird situation. We see a DC go down to the bench Toad. And does he have a Golbat or not? That's the big question. If he doesn't have a Golbat, then we can just play our trainer cards, and we do. Okay, cool. So we can play our trainer cards right now. Okay. So, let's see. We will Floatstone the Keldeo. That's number 1. We will... There's a lot of different things we could do this turn. We could Light Set up a Toad and Quake Punch it with a laser, trying to put it to sleep. And I think that might be the best solution. So, Light Center, bring up the Toad. We will Trainer's Mode, looking for a Burbank, or for a laser. Oh, we get both a laser and a Muscle Band. I'll grab the laser. Okay. We will play the laser, try to put it to sleep. Let's see, does it go to sleep or not? Heads, it is asleep. We will a computer search, discard a Hex Maniac and an Ultra Ball. This will get us a Muscle Band for the active. We'll put a Muscle Band on the active, put a Dark Energy on this Yveltal, and we will VS Seeker. We already played a Lysander this turn, so we're just going to grab a Juniper for the following turn. It was the accession for my opponent. There you go. You can see how you can beat Tobats. I'm kind of curious as to why my opponent didn't put the DC on the active to retreat. That was definitely a misplay because now we have all the item cards. We were going to Quake Punch, do 80 damage, come back to us 110 if it stayed asleep, and then we could knock out maybe the other Toad by using Dark Patch and Lysander, or maybe not Lysander, but we had the game in the bag for sure, and we did get the turn Archeops. But we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second since our opponent did concede the game, but we pretty much had it. We were going to VS Seeker for another Juniper. We're going to be A-okay. But you can see how it can beat Toadbats. And the cool thing about this deck is you do play your own Toad as well. So you can, like, Lysander, or you could start Quake Punch as your, you know, you can Quake Punch each other and make it where they can't play their item cards, you can't play your item cards, but they don't have Golbats, and you have Keldeo with the Floatstone to retreat into Yveltal, which is really cool. Like I said, in the early game, maybe we should have grabbed a Darkrai instead of the Keldeo to get Pokemon free retreat, but we did have the turn of get down the Floatstone onto the Keldeo. But we'll see one more game with the deck here in a second since that one was kind of quick. Alright, so next round we're playing against T, Nick, 12, playing all water deck and supposedly do have the advantage. And let's see what happens at all water deck. We did win the coin flip, there we go. And let's see, yes, we'd like to go first. And let's see, what are we playing against today? Alright, looks like we mulligan turn 1. And our opponent will get a put down a Pokemon. They do have a Pokemon in the act. They do have a Pokemon in their hand, a basic Pokemon. And they're going to see that we mulligan. I'm not sure how great our hand was, so I can depend which card was a Pokemon. But let's try again. On to number 2. Alright. We do have the turn 1 Archeops. The question is, man, we have to at least discard one VS Seeker. Okay, so we'll Battle Compressor. And with the compressor, we will discard a Glade, let's see, a Maxis, and an Archeops. Okay, I guess the Archeops is prized. So if they are playing a deck that does revolve around the Archeops, we might be in trouble. So we discard a Dark Energy. That seems fine. We'll press done. We will Ultra Ball. Let's see, we can Ultra Ball, discard a Battle Compressor. No, okay, we'll Battle Compressor, discarding a Dark, Juniper, Lysander. Yeah, that seems fine. We'll discard those 3. Then we'll Battle Compressor, discarding a just a Hex Maniac. Okay, so we'll discard those 2. We will Ultra Ball, discard in, and VS Seeker. And with this, we can grab a Hoopa, and with this, we can get a Keldeo. Darkrai, Yveltal. So yeah, we'll search for 3X Pokemon. I know for sure we'll get the Keldeo. We'll get the Yveltal, and why not the Darkrai? We could grab a Toad as well. Not sure which one is better to get in this situation. We'll grab a Toad. Maybe Quake Punch will be a little bit better. So we'll grab those 3. Alright, they'll go into our hand. We'll put them down. Then we can VS Seeker for Maxis to get out the turn 1 Glade. Alrighty, so we'll put those 3 down. We'll play a VS Seeker, grabbing the Glade, or grabbing the Maxis for the Glade. If we did have Archeops in the deck, we could got out turn 1. This kind of makes me question, do we cut the Glade for an Archeops to have 2 Archeops or not? Alright. So we get a Terrain Smell. We're looking for a Floatstone. Wow, we didn't get anything. Okay, so press done. Press done. Come on now. Let's Premonition, rearrange top 5 cards of our deck. Come on, Premonition. We probably should have Premonition and then Trainer Smell, but that's okay. Wow. Okay, so we will grab a Dark Energy, Ultra Ball, and I don't think the rest are going to matter. So yeah, we'll just put those there. Okay, and we will just pass. Next turn we can put a DC on Shaman, Sky Return. Yeah, that might seem good. We could have put a DC this turn, but I don't want to play Enhanced Hammer, discard it. But let's see what does our opponent do this turn. Man, we had a long turn 1, but we did have a good turn 1. We see Professor Letter, Gonna get 2 water energies out of their deck. There's double water energy. Are they playing an Archeops deck? That'd be very interesting if they are. Let's see what this guy does. Aqua Turbo 40. Search deck for 2 water energy. Attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. And Pearl Hurricane for 120. We see an Acrobike discarding a Fighting Fury Belt, giving it 40 plus HP. Okay. We see a Dive Ball, and let's see what the Dive Ball gets down for my opponent. Let's see, what else are they playing with the Palkia? Like I said, it might be an Archie's. There's a Manaphy, which makes it where if your opponent has if they have a water energy, it has free retreat. So I'm not really worried about that much. See a Manaphy coming down. We see a water energy going to the active. And we'll probably just see a pass. Now, we could Dark Patch with DC and just Yveltal to do heavy damage to this Palkia. We see an Ultra Ball discarding double water energy. There's not a Mega Palkia, so we don't have to worry about Mega Palkia in the next turn, so you really can't accelerate energies to it. Just wondering what else he plays with this deck. I mean, he's got the Manaphy, so a Gyarados. Alright, so it is a Mega Gyarados deck. Now, that Gyarados does need 4 energies to attack, which is good for us because we can easily knock it out with the Yveltal. So see Gyarados coming down. Okay. And the other thing, I think I'm just going to Sky Return and then promote the Yveltal. But nope, we see a Judge. Okay, so maybe we should have played the DC. I'm not 100% sure if that was the correct play or not. But like I said, I was kind of scared of the Hand Stammer, but who cares? We have a good hand regardless. And on to our turn. Let's see, what do we get? A Hypnotoxic Laser. We'll play the Hypnotoxic Laser because, like I said, the Gyarados needs 4 energies, so we can easily one-shot that regardless. Heads, the Palkia goes to sleep. We'll put a DC on this guy, put down a Muscle Band. We will Premonition, trying to rearrange the top 5 cards of our deck. We'll put a Trainer's Mail. Let's see. We could Trainer's Mail, and then we could Trainer's Mail, grab the Flowstone, and then we could Premonition to make Shaman draw to the cards we need. So yeah, we'll Premonition. Yeah, we'll do these. Or do we just do straight Flowstone? Let's do it like this. There we go. I don't think it matters regardless. So we'll do it that way. We will then Dark Patch onto the Yveltal, and we'll just Sky Return. And I think I'm just going to send up the Hoopa. I don't care if Hoopa gets hit, and we know the next card is going to be a Floatstone. So we'll do 50 damage, send it to Hoopa. And let's see, does Palkia wake up or not? That's the big question. Tells it does not wake up. Alright, on to our opponent's turn. But next turn, we got a Muscle Band, we got a DC, we got a Floatstone coming to us, and we do have Shaman, so we can Shaman. Still think we should have maybe, I don't know, Trainer's Mail first. Maybe we should have put the Trainer's Mail on top. I don't know, it's weird. But we'll see what happens. We should be okay regardless. Like, our opponent really can't do anything. Like I said, there's not a Mega Palkia, so he has to play a Switch to get it unpoisoned. Maybe play a Keldeo of his own. There's a lot of different things he can play this turn, but next turn we have an Yveltal DC. We can start attacking. But there's a Rough Sea, so he can heal 30 off this Palkia. Well, let's see. Go attach a Water Energy, a DC, a Gyarados, okay? And does he have the Mega this turn or not? That's the big question. Doesn't look like it, okay? So heads, he does wake up. Let's see, do we go for the knockout this turn or not? We get the Flowstone. We can Shaman right now, or we can Glade to rearrange that one card. We know that Trainer's Mail is the next card. I think I'm still going to put a DC on this guy, put down a Muscle Band, play Shaman, drawn up to 5. And like I said, I know the Trainer's Mail will be the top card. Okay. We will, let's see, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're doing 100 plus a 10, 110. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can knock out the Palkia this turn. So put a Dark Energy on this Palkia. And this is why Yveltal is such a strong deck just by itself. We'll Premonition, trying to rearrange top 5 cards of our deck. What? Okay, so put a DC on the active. I don't think it really matters. What we're going to do is we're going to do those 4. And then we're just going to play an Ultra Ball, discarding Ultra Ball and Shaman, and now we'll shuffle our top 5 cards of our deck. We'll shuffle our deck up. We'll just grab somebody. We'll grab an Yveltal, and then we'll just Trainer's Mail, and maybe, hopefully, us rearranging our cards. That way it'll be great. Nope. Alright, so we'll grab Battle Compressor, and with the Compressor, we'll discard stuff out of our deck. We could discard another Dark Energy, a Dark Patch too, but I think that might be going a little bit overboard. Let's see. We discard a Maxi Hidden Baldric. We'll discard a Ultra Ball, and we will discard a Jirachi. We'll keep the Jirachi. We could Ultra Ball for it later. Let's see. No, let's discard a dark and a dark. How many dark patches are left in the deck? There's one. There's one in our hand. So yeah, we'll discard these two. And what we'll do is we'll just rush in, retreat, knock out the Yveltal, and we'll see what happens next turn. I mean, we're still in a good position. We can maybe knock out this the Palkia next turn, or knock out the Mega Gyarados next turn. We'll Evolball, knock out the Palkia, do 140 damage. Like I said, that's what the cool thing about Yveltal. It's such an easy attacker. 2 power up. We'll take 2 prize cards. You get a computer search and a VS Seeker. Alright, here comes the Gyarados, and let's see, onto our opponent's turn. Thankfully, we did have the Glade to rearrange our top cards, and let's see. I mean, we have a computer search. We pretty much got everything we need to knock out this Gyarados next turn, so I'm not really nervous. We can computer search for DC, Dark Patch to it, and just go crazy and just one-shot this Gyarados, which is usually, you don't want to do that, but you can do it in this situation. We see a Sycamore going to discard the hand, drawing 7 new cards. Wow, 3 Water Energies in his hand. Alrighty, let's see, what else does he have? Let's see. I mean, we did get the Terminal Gallade, which is great. I just kind of wish it was an Archeops, so it would show the power of Archeops. But at least Gallade can't premonition to rearrange our cards. We see a Water Energy going out to the active. And does he have the Mega Gyarados? If he doesn't, he needs to retreat into his Manaphy, or we'll just knock out his only attacker. There's a, I think he still needs to retreat to Manaphy regardless, to preserve this Gyarados from being knocked out. There's a Regice coming down. Not really concerned about that. We have targets on board that we can knock out. He could retreat to it though, this turn, making it where we don't take a knockout this turn. Own EX. We see an Acrobite can look at top 4 cards of his deck, or top 2. He's going to discard a Water Energy. Alrighty, and he's probably going to retreat to Regice. That's what I would do, just to give up a non-EX attacker. So let's see what he decides to do. But either way, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now he gets a DCE. I mean, Enhanced Hammer. Okay. I can Enhanced Hammer, discard the DCE, but we can maybe VS Seeker bring up the Gyarados and take a knockout on this turn regardless. Alright, so DC gets discarded. Is he going to go for a Stormy Seas? That'd be definitely sketchy. Hopefully he retreats to Regice. So he's going to retreat to Regice, which is a smart play. And does he have the Mega or not? And there's the Mega Gyarados. Alright, how much HP does it have? 240. So can we do 240 this turn? We get a DCE and we get Dark Patch. So 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We could do, that's not a knockout. But we can't knock it out this turn. Maybe what we could do is bring up the Manaphy and knock it out this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could do 120. License her up. Yeah, so let's computer search, discard these two. Let's see. Blast Geyser can do 160 next turn max. I'm not really worried about that. We'll grab a DCE. Okay. Put a DC on the active. We will rush in. Yeah, I think just going crazy for this Manaphy, take a knockout is probably our best bet. We'll Dark Patch, putting a Dark Energy onto this Yveltal EX. We'll VS Seeker for a license to bring up that Manaphy and take a knockout right now. I think that's the best play, like I said. So we'll license up the Manaphy. Retreat into the Yveltal, and he can't knock us out next turn with Gyarados. I don't think he can, unless I did the math wrong. Well, we need a premonition first. So let's see what our top 5 cards are. We'll grab a Ultra Ball. No, let's grab Dark Patch. Yeah, we'll just go that order. That seems fine. Alright, and then we'll just Evolball for the knockout. And let's see, can the Gyarados knock us out next turn? Blast Guys would do 120, 140, 160. If he gets a Muscle Band, he can knock us out. So let's see. We get an Archeops and a Juniper. Alright, and let's see who he decides to send up. Will he send the Regice or the Gyarados? So he is going to send the Gyarados. The question is, does he have a knockout this turn or not? And if he does, can we retaliate? Well, we have 3 Dark Energies in our discard pile, and both our Yveltals are gone. There's a Water Energy. Does he have the Muscle Band or not? There's a Judge. Getting both of us at 4. Let's see, 120, 140, 160, okay. Does he have the Muscle Band or not? If he doesn't, he's going to be in trouble, because we have the Dark Energy, we have a Laser, we can knock out this Mega Gyarados and take the game. Let's see, does he have it or not? And nope, just a Blast Geyser. I'm going to discard those two, do it 160. If he had the Muscle Band, like I said, he could have knocked us out this turn. We get a Hypnotoxic Laser. We'll Premonition, and what will be our next card? Ooh, what we could have done? I don't know. We could have been in a weird situation next turn. It depends what we could like. We could put the DCE to attack with Glade next turn. Maybe get a Muscle Band, maybe VS Seeker. There's a lot of different options we could have done, but luckily we do have the knockout this turn. We'll play the Hypnotoxic Laser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Heads, put a Dark Energy in the active, and we'll just Yveltal, knock it out. We'll put the Verbeck City Gym as well, and we'll Yveltal, knock it out this Mega Gyarados. You can kind of see how strong this deck is, and even though we didn't get the Archeops, you can see how strong Glade is, just being able to Premonition, rearrange top 5 cards of your deck, knowing what you're going to get every turn, which, you know, if you do have the Archeops prize, as we have to go for sometimes, is the Glade. Now, Glade is still a great attacker. Like I said, we could have put the DC on top, and if we didn't have the knockout for some reason on the Gyarados, we could have put DC on the Glade to attack with it next turn onto the Gyarados to finish it off if we needed to. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Expanded Thursday. Once again, shout out to Daniel Altavala for winning the first weekend of regionals with this deck. It was it's a very creative deck. I personally haven't seen a Glade Archeops deck with lasers and Verbing, and I think it was Jimmy McClure and Brandon Smiley also helped out as well with this deck. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great Thursday. Alrighty, bye.